I think the dream of literally every artist is to build a loyal fan base. And if you're an artist, a music artist, trying to build a loyal fan base, then I think this video will be of great help, because we're gonna break down kind of the psychology of why people become fans and how to build a fan base yourself. And so, I mean, let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna talk about why. Why do people become fans? Okay, what makes people become fans of an artist? Think about it. You know, think about yourself, your favorite artist. For what reason do you listen to them? And instantly you're gonna think about, you know, the sound. Maybe you think that their music sounds better than everybody else's, or maybe that they're unique. And I think that's a big one. So we're gonna write down uniqueness, okay? I don't even know how to spell it, but people become fans of you if you're unique, you know, if you stick out, if you're giving them something that no one else can give them. And that can partly be, you know, in the way your music sounds, okay? It can be in unique sounds and innovation, you know. I don't think that any other artist in the, 2000s could make chopped up soul samples in the way that Kanye did. And so he gave people a unique sound to listen to. And that instantly makes people a fan of you. Because if you can make a unique sound which, you know, people enjoy to listen to, you're instantly gonna have people there who want something from you that only you can give. And that is kind of how you build a fan base. But you don't have to make unique music. You don't have to be good at making music at all. You've seen that these past couple of years with these artists blowing up of social media, making shit music and still building a fan base. So that clearly isn't like the sole reason why people listen to you. The other one is the thing I like to call, let's say, connection, okay? If you, actually that's a bad word. I was gonna say culture or connection. It's kind of the same thing, because people love kind of community. People love connecting with other people over music. And so if you can make music for kind of a group of people to connect with and connect over and kind of have it as their thing, then you're gonna be giving them something to be connecting over. And instantly that makes them want to be a fan. At the end of the day, humans, we are social creatures, and we love to be a part of a collective, a part of a group. And music is a great way for people to connect. And if you're giving people something that's kind of like a social event, you know, music that kind of works as a social event, you know, something that brings people together. For example, there's a lot of artists right now hopping on this kind of 2016 music type of, you know, dance, pop and house music, where people be like, oh, we're making party music for people to come together again, you know, as we used to do before the virus. But no, basically, if you can make like music that makes people want to connect with each other and connect over your music together, then they're gonna want to be fans of you. If you already have an established fan base and people see that from the outside looking in, they're gonna want to be part of that group, because people see a group, a collective, you know, and want to be part of it because it's social connection. And I think the final big one that I want to talk about, the final big kind of reason why people become fans, is emotion. And this is definitely, for me, I think the one which like most artists should definitely try and kind of hit, because this is the easiest, okay? We're humans, we're emotional creatures. And if you think about like the psychology behind music, why do people listen to music? Well, music is kind of like a magical thing when it comes to evoking emotions, okay? People listen to music because they want to evoke emotion. And if you can give your music a certain emotional value, a certain emotional kind of trigger, yeah, that people want, people will listen to your music. Like, think about when you're going to the gym. When you're going to the gym, putting on your headphones, you're gonna want some type of emotional reaction. You're gonna want motivational music. You're gonna want something that gets you geared up and going for the gym, you know. If you wanna sit down and chill and, you know, enjoy a sunset or whatever and chill, you're gonna want music that makes you kind of chilled out and gives you that emotional reaction. At the end of the day, people want music for emotional reactions. And if you can give people the same emotional reaction over and over again with their music, and give them kind of like an emotion that they like, then they're gonna become fans of you. And that's when, like, you look at people like, you know, these emo bands, or you look at Juice WRLD or XXXTentacion, you know, their music was always hitting the same emotional kind of trigger, the same emotional reaction for people. And that's why people who kind of like that emotion, or like that emotional trigger, or kind of needed that emotional trigger, they're always gonna become fans of them. Because if you give someone the emotional value over and over again, firstly, they're going to begin trusting you. Like, in their mind, they're going to be associating that emotion with your music. And that's so powerful, because every time they feel that emotion now, they're going to be thinking about, shit, man, let me listen to this person's music. If you're someone that makes kind of introspective and, you know, poetic music about society and the problems in society, every time someone watches the news and hears about the social divide, they're going to be thinking about your music. Think about Kendrick Lamar in that way, you know. He always talks about, you know, all these societal issues. And think about it, when someone feels kind of rebellious or wants to stand up for civil rights, they're going to be thinking about Kendrick's music and the empowerment and that type of feeling. And so having your like music rooted in an emotional connection is going to be the biggest cheat code into like building a fan base, and the reason why. And so sorry for interrupting, but if you need help building a music brand that attracts a fan base, we can literally do that for you in the first link in the description if you're interested. And if not, just keep watching the video. But the problem with building a fan base is that how the hell are you gonna reach people? Because there's too many artists in the world. There's so many artists on social media, on Spotify. I think like 100,000 songs are being dropped every single day. I mean, how are you supposed to stand out and compete with that? Well, you can't. You have to think about Mr. Beast, okay? Think about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast markets to the whole world. And you know, that works for him. You know, but we can't really do that, because in order to do that, you need a lot of money, a shit ton of money basically, and a shit ton of production quality and whatever. It's hard. But what you can do is the word of the day, my boy. Niche down, okay? If you can find a pocket, you know, I drew this globe. I don't know if you can see this. Drew this little globe right here. And basically, this is Mr. Beast, okay? This is the whole world. Mr. Beast marketed to the whole world. You can't do that because you need a lot of reach to do that. You need, you know, a lot of engagement. You need something that can reach everyone. And that is kind of hard to do. And based on luck, but also, you know, you can't be authentic while doing so. And I think the biggest thing, yeah, that artists need, like kind of in this generation, is to be authentic. You know, you want to make music for yourself at the end of the day, music that you like making. And if you're gonna market to the whole world, you can't make music that you like. You're gonna make what everyone likes. But instead, when you're beginning, yeah, instead of thinking about the whole world and trying to reach the whole world, think about a small part of the world. You know, this. Think about just only marketing to this group of people. And let's say this group of people have a hobby. For example, they are skaters, for example. Then you're not only gonna be marketing your music to the skaters in the beginning and trying to build a fan base of that. You have a niche now. Let's say the niche is skateboarders. Okay. That's a niche, okay? That's a group of people, smaller, you know, a small kind of like divided group of people compared to the whole world. And so instead of trying to market to the whole world, market to skateboarders only. And think about it now. Pick one of these categories, okay? So you wanna pick a niche, pick a smaller group of people. It can be, you know, it can be surfers, it can be people who like to watch the sunset, it can be romantic people, it can be happy people, it can be sad people, it can be angry people. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how deep you niche, just matters that you niche down. And the more you niche you get, it's gonna be easier to build a following. So you must understand that from the beginning. I always say niche down and then go a little bit broader, you know? Niche down so small, yeah, small. And then what's gonna happen is you can broaden a little bit more when you have this motion. Because at the end of the day, people love the connection, as I said before. People love to hop on something that all others are already on, you know. So if you can get a small niche of people to kind of listen to your music, that's gonna spread. And you're gonna have an easier time getting more people, and then more people, and then more people. But at the end of the day, you have to start small. You have to start somewhere. You know, this idea that you're gonna blow up and get 100 million streams in one day, probably not the most kind of sustainable, I think. Yeah, you have to build slowly and slowly. But at the end of the day, trust me, it's very easy to get 10,000 followers just by doing this kind of niching down. Marketing to skateboarders who want to listen to chilled out, you know, music. I was gonna say a certain word, but I can't say that for YouTube. Okay, so we need to have chill music. Oh, my pen is dead, literally. Now, chill music for skateboarders. What's gonna happen now? It's much easier to market that. So you want to, the emotional connection should be chill, just chill music, okay? And the niche is skateboarders, okay? You don't have to be unique, you just have to be niche. And evoke an emotion, okay? So you're evoking one emotion for skateboarders. Now think about the content strategy, okay? Think about the content, okay? Because now, instead of trying to make some magical content that's gonna just appeal to everyone, you're just gonna be marketing to a smaller group of people, which is way easier to hit, because now you can go to a skate park and literally just play your music, show it to people, talk to people, just engage with the culture, literally. It's way easier. And then also, you're gonna make a content, for example, if you look at like a certain niche on TikTok, like getting like views by posting a skateboarding clip and then having your music behind it is way easier than just trying to make some type of, you know, rap transition and standing under the Eiffel Tower and whatever. Like, it's way easier to just make a simple video at a skate park and trying to attract skateboarders, for example, compared to just trying to make something for everyone. It's way easier to find a video and make a video with motivational music in the gym for people who like to go to the gym, and then kind of like blowing that up instead of building some sort of established name in that niche. It's way easier to blow up if you niche down, okay? And build a fan base if you niche down, because people like something that they can relate to, okay?